Success for your 3 and 4-year-olds starts with Pinellas County Schools Pre-K and VPK programs. Immerse your child in a world of learning. Affordable full-day options are available for the next school year. Space is limited. Apply now by December 13th at 5 p.m. It's never too early for learning that lasts a lifetime. Discover more at pcsb.org/early.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Meckler, the Director of Early Childhood Education for Pinellas County Schools, and I'm joined here with my friend Crowley Baird.
Nice to be here, Jen.
I work very closely with Crowley. I can't believe we're back already,
right?
A year later, talking about next school year.
It's time.
It is. It is time. As we're wrapping up this calendar year, we are getting ready for August and welcoming new students into our programs for the 2024-25 school year.
And that is the case. And tonight we are going to cover a variety of things, and we'll begin with talking about some of our early learning programs, applying for a seat within Pinellas County Schools pre-K programs, applying for a certificate of eligibility, and then of course we'll also be taking your questions. And please do, if you have any questions as we go along, put them in the chat. We have Libby monitoring for us, and we do want to give a quick shout out to our communications team for helping set this event up. But without further ado, we're going to move right along and talk just a little bit about some of our programs. In the state of Florida, we do follow the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards, also known as the FELDS, in pre-K. And so our little preschoolers engage in a variety of activities that really stimulate their social and emotional development, physical development, approaches to learning, language and literacy, mathematical thinking, scientific inquiry, social studies, and creative expression through the arts. So a very robust, action-packed day for our little ones, and everything is rooted and grounded in research-based standards.
And those standards actually take them from birth to kindergarten entry.
Very wide-reaching, and they do encompass, as we said, a variety of things. So your little one will be very, very, very satisfied and stimulated when they come to Pinellas County Schools pre-K. Our programs run something like this throughout the day. All students are offered breakfast before school. Students are engaged in a morning circle with their peers and their teachers in the classroom. They engage in activities that really foster a sense of social skills and belonging and community. We also have learning circles daily, a very, very coveted and favorite time of day for our little ones. Small group instruction, yes, we do have that in pre-K. Very developmentally appropriate, of course, but that is something that all students get to participate in with their teacher, very targeted instruction for their skills and ability levels. Of course, the most important part of the day, lunch, and then outside learning, learning centers, rest time, PE, daily reflection, and a closing circle. And that is just a snapshot of the day. There's a lot more that goes on throughout the day with arts and a lot of fun and music and movement throughout the curriculum itself, but just a snapshot of our day. We have a variety of programs in Pinellas County Schools when it comes to early learning. Pre-K 3 is one of those programs. Our Pre-K 3 program is designed for 3-year-old students. Our voluntary pre-kindergarten, or VPK program, is designed for 4-year-old students. And then we're not going to go into great detail about our Exceptional Student Education, or ESE, program, but we do have a very large and comprehensive program for students who have an IEP or an individualized educational plan. And we do offer that for students ages 3 to 5 years old.
I just want to add to that, Crowley, that those ages for Pre-K 3 and VPK are that they're that age on the 1st of September.
Yes.
We do that so that they're cohorted for kindergarten entry with their peers, so that when they go to kindergarten, it's the same group of students that they'll enter kindergarten with.
So remember the 1st of September, as we like to say. Good point. Other things unique about our Pre-K 3 program. Again, as Mrs. Meckler just said, students are 3 years old on or before September the 1st. It is a full-day program. It is a tuition-based program. It's $130 a week, and there's a $130 non-refundable registration fee associated with your application. Additionally, our Pre-K 3 program at some schools is free, and they are listed there.
And then in VPK, as I mentioned, that students are 4 years old on or before September 1st to be eligible for voluntary pre-kindergarten in the state of Florida. We do offer a half-day or full-day program. If you select the full-day program, there is a $100 a week tuition with a $100 a week, or not $100 a week, a $100 non-refundable registration fee. However, for VPK only, families who qualify for free and reduced lunch meals will qualify for free full-day VPK district-wide. Also, this year, we are prioritizing families that are selecting the full-day program option. But we do accept applications and hope to have some students in the other program as well. We also have another program for 3s and 4s at 2 of our high schools. It's our Employee and Community Preschool program. They are available. They're the Little Cougars at Countryside High School and Little Packers at Largo High School. These programs offer extended hours and an extended calendar. That information is available on our website with the specific times and calendar. But the cost for those, for pre-K 3, is $160 a week for tuition, and again, for the same for their registration fee. And for voluntary pre-kindergarten, it would be $130 a week tuition. That price difference you'll see is because of the certificate of eligibility that pays for a portion, helps fund a portion of the day in VPK. And also some initiatives for our full-time Pinellas County Schools employees. All full-time Pinellas County School employees receive free pre-K 3 and VPK tuition at all of our elementary school sites. Also, our programs at the high school sites are discounted for full-time PCS employees. That information about tuition is available on the website.
Once again, back to our Exceptional Student Education or ESE programs. Again, we do service students ages 3 to 5 who have an IEP or an individualized education plan, in some cases even a family service plan. These students, these families do not need to apply. Again, we'll say they do not need to apply for the pre-K 3 or the voluntary VPK program. But if you do have questions about that, it's a very comprehensive web page that we have at pcsb.org. And you can also call the number there on your screen. You can speak to Cindy Petty, and she'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about the ESE program in and of itself. Additional information that we want to share with families who are listening tonight is that this is a lottery-based system, and space is limited, so you want to make sure that you're listening, taking some notes so that you're prepared to enroll, prepared to do your application, that is, within a timely manner. So space is limited. But in each class, there are at least 2 adults in the classroom, and we do have before and after care available at most sites, but again, it is also very limited, so you just want to be mindful of engaging with those representatives at the schools, asking a lot of questions of your teacher. Hey, how do I get signed up for that? We have some information on our website as well, but just some things to keep in mind.
And as you're looking at schools, when you're submitting your application, information about the before and after care providers is also available on the school websites.
Let's talk a little bit about applying for a seat. So the Student Reservation System, or as we so commonly call it, SRS, is an online system that is used to make an application for pre-K 3 and VPK. Very user-friendly. The steps are in sequential order, and it guides you through exactly what you need to do, so no need to be a tech expert. It's designed for families and for families to be successful with it. You can access the application by going to reservation.pcsb.org. A little extra that we have for you right here tonight is a scan code, a QR code, if you'd like to take a screenshot of that, or go ahead and do it right now if you want. But you can visit that as well and create a Focus Parent Portal account. That is something you will need to do. You may already have a username and password if you have another student in Pinellas County Schools, but if you do not, then you'll need to attend to that. These are some important dates to keep in mind. November 27th through December 13th at 5 p.m. That's when you can apply for a seat. You're going to go to the reservation.pcsb.org in SRS or the student reservation system. Enter your required information and you will select up to 2 schools of choice. Other things to keep in mind is that your school of choice may not be your child's school for kindergarten. We do not have programs at every single school that accompany kindergarten transition, but we do at a great deal of them. However, we like to be very clear that it may not be your child's school for kindergarten where you attend for pre-K 3 or for VPK. Another thing in this voluntary program and choice program is that transportation is not provided. Also, keep in mind you must have a certificate of eligibility or confirmation number to complete the enrollment at your student's school for VPK from the Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas.
And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute, but that is not for the application when you're applying for a seat. That's just for the enrollment. For when you accept a seat and need to finish the enrollment process at the school, you'll need that certificate of eligibility or confirmation number. That is actually not something that's available right now until after the 1st of January from the Early Learning Coalition.
We do have some priorities here in Pinellas County Schools in regards to how seats are allocated. So current 3-year-olds that are in our programs as of now do have a priority in the student reservation system. We also have a professional courtesy. If you're listening and you're a Pinellas County Schools employee, that would be something that would be extended to you, a professional courtesy as a priority. We do have a priority built in the system for zoned schools and non-zoned schools, as well as siblings, and for full-day status request.
And that current 3-year-olds, actually, if you're a current 3-year-old wanting to stay at the same school, you do not need to apply at all for a seat. Yeah. You will automatically roll into VPK the following year. That current 3-year-old is only if you're selecting a different school that you'd like to attend for VPK. You'd need to select that during the application period.
So see, if you're a 3-year-old family and listening, go ahead and start, because once you get in, we got you. We'll take good care of you. Just a few more things to keep in mind regarding dates. December 14th, there will be a school messenger phone call that will go out, an automated call. It will be a reminder for you to log back in to the student reservation system to see the results of your application. This will take place, this log back in period, between December 15th and January 13th. There is no benefit to sitting up until midnight on the 14th of December to log in on the 15th, because there's no time sensitivity to this. There's no rush. It's a lottery system. There's no need for you to stand in line or wait or anything like that. Some people do have that misconception, but as long as you log back in between the 15th of December and January 13th, you'll be fine.
And that does give you about a week before the district closes down for winter break. So that invitation will go out, and our department office will be available if you have questions about what, when you logged back in, what it looked like. You are welcome to call us prior to December 22nd when we close down, but then it's open again for a week when we get back in January before the 13th.
Couple more dates to keep in mind. December 16th through January the 13th is when you will be able to accept a seat. Now, this is important to keep in mind. When you accept that seat, you do come off the wait list. So if you accept a seat, again, you come off the wait list. Or you can stay on the wait list. If you want to wait it out, you're very much welcome to do that. But the wait list is a wait list. There's no guarantee. It is, as it implies, a waiting list. So again, you can accept a seat and come off the wait list during this time period between December 16th and January 13th, or stay on the wait list and see what happens. In February, the late application period begins. There are no priorities extended during this time. Applicants on the wait list from initial application period accepted before late applicants. That didn't read right to me, Jen. What am I reading wrong there?
So the applicants from the wait list, from the initial period, actually stay there. So
there you go.
they'll remain on
Gotcha.
the wait list. That doesn't, as we're sitting here looking at it, Crowley, I agree. It doesn't really.
A little bit of a tongue twister.
It is. But anybody that completes a late application will fall under in line for the wait list.
All right. Thank you for that clarity. And late applicants accepted to the schools are accepted in chronological order.
Correct. All right. So once we've selected our school, we are going to be able to enroll at school. So once you've logged in and made your selection for what school you would like your child to attend, you'll be able to go to school to enroll between January 22nd and February 2nd. The documents that you need for enrollment at the school are listed on our website, so you can take everything with you. And this is the time that if your child's in VPK, that you will need the certificate of eligibility or a confirmation number to be able to complete the enrollment at school. Remember, you can't do that until January 1st, 2024. That is when that opens for next year with the Early Learning Coalition. If you do not enroll at the school that you selected between January 22nd and February 2nd, you will lose your seat. We need you to complete that enrollment to be able to hold the seat for the following school year. Here's a list of the required paperwork that is also on the website. You'll need a birth certificate, proof of residency. We ask for 2 forms, the immunization record, a physical examination, and the certificate of eligibility or confirmation number. When you're applying for the certificate of eligibility, again, opens January 1st and is only required for VPK students, you will need an email account, and you will access the Early Learning Coalition Pinellas, so it would be elcpinellas.org online. You register for an account and then just follow their steps to complete an application. When you're doing that, you will have to upload these 3 documents separately. So your photo ID, a proof of Florida residency, and a proof of the child's age. And then you will have to, this gets confusing to people because we're waiting. You get an email notification after the application has been reviewed, and the Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas says that they'll have them reviewed within 10 business days. But you do have to log back into your account to make sure that it's been reviewed and to print the certificate of eligibility. That is what, if you enroll at school with the confirmation number, we will actually need you to take that certificate of eligibility back to the school. They will need a copy of that because we have to submit that to show that they're enrolled in our schools. If you need help after January 1st applying, you'll want to contact the Early Learning Coalition. They're a wonderful group of people that really want to help you get this situated. As you can imagine, very busy in January, but they always get it all done. So their number and their website address is listed right there and again on our website. All right, and we have some other numbers that, in case you need some help during this process. The Early Childhood Education for Pre-K3 number and website are both listed there, as well as specific information for VPK within the district. And then you also can go to pcsb.org/zone for your school zone locator if you're wondering and you're not sure actually which school is your zone school. Again, for early childhood programming, you don't have to enroll at your zone school, but it is a nice way to get connected to that school before kindergarten.
All right. Well, please don't feel like you had to take exhaustive notes. We do have a very comprehensive website with a lot of this information on there, but we imagine you do have some questions. And Libby, if we have anything in the chat, Jen and I will be happy to take those questions and do our very best to field them.
We do have some questions here. So, is wraparound care through the YMCA, or does it vary by location?
It does vary by location. So each school is going to have a different provider. That information is on I believe, on each school's website, or you can contact the school to find out who their provider is. It's most commonly our club or YMCA, but we do have some other providers across the district.
Is the application first come, first serve, or is it a lottery system?
It's a lottery system. In this initial application window, it is a lottery system. It becomes first come, first serve in the late application period that begins in February.
Do you have to rank the schools you apply for?
You will be given an opportunity to select 2 schools, a first and a second choice. Now, that does not necessarily mean there will be availability at both of those schools, but you will have an opportunity to choose a priority 1 and a priority 2 within the student reservation system.
When should we apply for VPK vouchers?
After January 1st, I imagine that the Early Learning Coalition will be closed on New Year's Day, but you can't apply for that until after January 1st. So it's the first business day that they're opened following the new year. You should do that as soon as you can in January. But remember that work can start online.
That'd be a great New Year's resolution to make for yourself.
Check
Go
it off
ahead and
the
have
list
everything
early.
ready so that when that rolls around, you can get going.
For families who don't qualify for the reduced lunch, do the schools still provide a lunch, or will parents need to pack a lunch for their little ones?
Yes, actually, that if you don't qualify for free and reduced lunch, you do have that option to either bring a lunch or you can buy a school lunch.
For pre-K 3 students at Garrison Jones moving to VPK, how do we let the school know we want to be in the dual language program?
That is a wonderful question. If you're at any of our schools that have special programming, you will want to contact the school directly. You could probably communicate that to your child's teacher, or if there's a magnet coordinator at the school, contact the school directly to make sure that they understand that you would like them to be in that program.
If your child turns 4 after the February 2nd deadline, will you have to provide the school with updated immunization and physical records before the school starts?
If your child, I've got to think about that one again.
too.
If your child turns 4,
You want me to reread it?
please do.
Okay. If your child turns 4 after the February 2nd deadline, will you have to provide the school with updated immunization and physical records before school starts?
I would believe so. If they're going to have a well check between February and the first day of school, when you go to school in August for some of the meet the teacher activities or things like that, they will want a current record from the doctor.
Do full-time PCSB employees get tuition-free pre-K 3?
Yes, they do. Pre-K 3 and full-day VPK at our elementary school sites. We offer a discounted rate at the employee child or community programs as well.
And one question we get on that is, what about an aunt? What about an uncle? It does need to be the parent or the legal guardian, and you do need to be a full-time PCSB employee.
In any department, in any way, as long as you're a full-time employee.
If you initially choose half-day, can you change to full-day later?
Yes, if you choose half day and want to and are offered a seat, you can change to full day after the school year begins.
Do I have an advantage if I apply earlier rather than later in the application period?
No, you don't. You can take your time so long as you do that before the deadline. It doesn't matter exactly when, just that you have the application completed before 5 p.m. on December 13th.
Are there full and half-day options for pre-K 3 or only one or the other?
There is a full day option available for all pre-K 3. There are times when families have existing appointments and things like that. Attendance is not compulsory in pre-K, so the general expectation is you come as much as you can. But there are situations where schools have an arrangement with, hey, every other Thursday I have to be picked up at 1:30 because I have an ongoing appointment. We understand those kinds of things, but we need you at school. And we do encourage the full day for sure, because that's what you're paying for. There's no discounted rate. If you do get picked up early, you still have to pay the full price. But it is, for all intents and purposes, a full day program, yes.
What is the difference between pre-K 3 and VPK?
That's a great question. So at the onset of the presentation, we mentioned the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards, and they are a beautiful thing. They are age anchored, meaning there are standards for 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. And those standards are developmentally appropriate based on trajectories regarding milestones that we know children naturally develop upon. So our pre-K 3 teachers are uniquely trained on how to deliver instruction that are connected to the 3-year-old standards, and likewise for our 4-year-old classes. That's not to say that we can't differentiate a little bit if we have someone in a 3-year-old class who is functioning a little bit higher. Those standards are available to them too. All of our pre-K teachers are trained and capable of delivering the FELDS, or the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards.
And ultimately, we are working really hard to make sure that they have a wonderful transition into kindergarten, and they're as ready as they can be to start their K-12 journey.
And we know so much about research and the suggestion that kindergarten readiness is such an important thing, and being engaged in a high-quality pre-K program, and I can go as far as to say ours are definitely high quality in Pinellas County Schools for sure. It is a precursor for later success in the academic career.
Is full day priority only for VPK?
Yes, it is, only because we don't offer a half day in pre-K 3.
If an older sibling is enrolled in the K through 5 grades, does the sibling applying for a certain school for pre-K 3 get any priority?
There is a sibling priority built into the reservation system. It is not a catch-all because there are other priorities that sort of outrank that one. But the good news is we have a supercomputer that factors all of that in, and I can assure you that it does it very fairly. So if you do have a sibling, an anchor sibling or a rising sibling, all of that is factored in. The key to that is very carefully and correctly filling out your application in SRS, so that we're aware of your siblings.
And if you need any help with that, you can contact either of those numbers, and our teams would love to help you through that.
Is transportation provided for pre-K?
Transportation is not provided for pre-K 3 or for voluntary pre-K. It can be a little bit of a confusing thing because you may hear from your neighbor across the street, well, my little one gets transportation. It can be provided for students who have an individualized education plan or that are ESE, exceptional student education students, if it is a related service on their IEP. But that is the difference. It is not provided for the voluntary programs.
When does the application close?
This first initial application round closes at 5 p.m. on December 13th.
That is all the questions for tonight.
Well, we certainly want to thank everybody for spending a little bit of your evening with us. And thank you for having me, Director Meckler, as always.
For being here.
And I think it goes without saying, on behalf of all Pinellas County Schools, we wish you a very happy holiday season. And on your journey in pre-K, know that we're here to help you, and we wish you the very, very best. Good night, everybody.
Have a great night.
Success for your 3- and 4-year-olds starts with Pinellas County Schools pre-K and VPK programs. Immerse your child in a world of learning. Affordable full-day options are available for the next school year. Space is limited. Apply now by December 13th at 5 p.m. It's never too early for learning that lasts a lifetime. Discover more at pcsb.org/early.